Nationwide Series. I think he's making a statement for the fact that he needs to be in. Somebody needs to put him in a serious Cup ride.
Well, you think he might make his way back to the 22?
No, I think Penske probably had enough of him. But
been there, done that.
But I don't know. I don't know where he goes at this point. I don't know what seat would be open. But
okay, well.
Right,
hold that thought for a second,
go.
And I'll let you.
Ready?
I'll let you on the end of my rant. Okay.
Okay.
State Representative Betty McCollum from Minnesota a couple of years ago came up with the idea that the government was spending way too much money on NASCAR sponsorships for the military.
Okay.
And it was announced today that the U.S. Army will not be back on the number 39 car next year. And the reason given was that the return on investment was not good enough. Okay? That was the official reason. You got to believe that there was some political hoopla along with this deal that Representative McCollum came up with and got some support for. I think it's ludicrous that you take the sponsorship of the U.S. Army and take it off of NASCAR vehicles. They're still going to be involved in the NHRA in drag racing. Obviously, the dollar amount to be in the NHRA is much less than it is to be in NASCAR.
Yeah, so are the number of eyes on the car.
Absolutely. If you are looking at a bunch of 18 to 21-year-old males and females, for that matter, this is one of the best ways to spend your money to get people into the armed services is by putting your sponsorship on a race car. And to pull it off is a bunch of crap.
We are fortunate enough to get to a number of races every year, and one of the coolest things that we see every year is the presence of armed services people at the racetracks. I mean, the Army and men and women in uniform at the tracks, tremendous access, which is cool. They get great respect from the fans, from the drivers, everybody. I mean, it's a privilege to have them there. And this is if this is driven politically, which it probably is, because everything in our government is driven politically. It's a mistake. The reason they're on those cars is to, as you said, is to create interest in recruits, potential recruits. It's getting the Army and Navy out there in a positive manner, and there's nothing more positive than seeing those kids at those races. I mean, it's fantastic, and to have somebody like Ryan Newman representing the Army, having Dale Jr. representing the National Guard. What are they going to do? Where are they going to spend that money?
You're talking about $8 million. It's only $8 million.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like $8 million.
It's like 4 toilet seats.
Exactly. And 2 screws.
Yeah.
And we don't tell you who's getting them. Now here, Eddie Gossage, our friend Eddie Gossage, who from Texas Motor Speedway, is on Twitter today, and he said this, and I'll give him credit for this. He says tracks honor the military personnel at the races, not NASCAR.
Right.
Okay. For those who think NASCAR won't honor military because there's no U.S. Army money, you're misguided, because the tracks will still do their job,
right.
and
sure.
Recognizing those people that do that. But like you say, speculation is that the U.S. Army was paying somewhere right around $8.4 million to be on that race car for, as a major sponsor, I believe,
probably
for about 6
race.
races, something like that, and they're associate for pretty much most of the rest of them.
Okay.
But the point is, it's $8.4 million. They piss away more than $8.4 million every day.
Well, they spend that money. They spend that money on TV and other places. I mean, it's not like they're not going to advertise. It's not like that's the only place they're spending their advertising. This is advertising money. The armed services, their recruiting arms have advertising, marketing budgets to recruit. That's what it's for. Okay, it's to recruit those great kids that sign up and defend us. You got to get to them somehow. How are they going to advertise to them now? Going to get on some hip-hop magazines or what? What are we going to do? I mean,
spend more money on MTV commercials, I guess.
It's crazy.
I don't.
It's crazy. I mean,
I think you're misguided
Here's the deal. If you're listening to this, here's the deal. If you're listening to this, you want to have an effect on this, write your congressman. Call your congressman. Tell him you think it's wrong.
There you go.
It's your money.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
exactly.
your money, my money, your money, your money. If you're watching this,
exactly.
if you want to see the Army back on a car, call your congressman. Say this is wrong. I don't agree with it. You're allowed to tell them where you want your money spent.
And we will say it does not affect the National Guard sponsorship that is on Junior's car. At this point, it does not. Okay, that is still a deal.
So if it's still a good idea for the National Guard, why isn't it a good idea for the Army? I mean, this is typical.
Typical, right. At one time, you had a huge presence from the Air Force as well.
Air Force was in there. The Navy was on Junior's car in Nationwide Series, remember?
Right, for a couple of years, as a matter of fact.
And it was cool as hell to see those things on those cars, and I think they need to be back.
So there are our rants for the week. Anyhow, Charlie got his in.
That was a pretty good rant. I like that rant.
Thank you. And it really irks me, especially when they say that you didn't get a return on investment. I'll tell you what, there is no better way to get your return on investment on $8 million piddly little dollars than to put it towards a race car. And if you don't think so, you're a fool.
That's right.
There you go. All right, we're going to take our final break.
How cool was it to be scooped by Ellen Bestwick live?
That was pretty cool.
It was very cool.
I felt kind of
felt bad for Tony